guys, today we're going to be chatting all about my current favorite foundations, and I have reviewed each and every one of these, so they will be linked down below. It's got before and after, flash photo test. I get in detail about shade ranges, prices, all that good stuff, show you how it looks at the end of the day. So if there's anything you're particularly curious about, be sure to check those out. As well, I've got drugstore, high-end, liquid, powder, stick, lots of great options, and kind of for any skin type, essentially. I will get into that a little bit more in the video. And if you are curious about this look, I did just film a 6 ways to make your makeup look better, so I will link that down below, and everything that I'm wearing on my face is always listed and linked down below. But let's go ahead and get started. So whenever I do these types of videos, I always like to give the preamble of take a listen, you know, like if you're trying to figure out what you want to buy, think about the price, the number of shades, is it cruelty free if you shop cruelty free, what type of coverage are you looking for, what type of format are you looking for, and consider all of that in trying to make your decision, because people often say, well, what's your favorite? But this is a video of all of my favorites, so I like them all for different reasons depending on the day. But this one, I will say, I have been reaching for a ton since I reviewed it, and this is the Shiseido Synchro Skin Self-Refreshing Foundation. Now, I don't totally feel that it's self-refreshing, but it does look really good all day, so I guess if that's what they were going for. But I feel like this gives me such beautiful coverage. It's what I'm wearing today. It gives me really, really beautiful coverage. You can build it up to about a medium or close to full, but not like super full coverage, depending on your application, how much you put on. And then of course it's always gonna, you know, if you have perfect skin, everything's gonna look full coverage on you. But I really do love this. I feel like the majority of skin types would like this. If you're super dry, I don't know that this is gonna be your favorite. You may need to kind of prep and hydrate a little bit more, but it's by no means a super matte foundation. I definitely love a medium coverage, natural finish foundation. I would say this is probably a satin matte, and it just looks so good on the skin, both in person and in YouTube videos. It wears really, really nicely. The shade match is really great for me. I also love the accompanying concealer, and I just think it's a really beautiful, luxurious looking and feeling foundation. This was actually my first time trying a Shiseido foundation, and I was incredibly impressed. This foundation is almost empty, which goes to show how much I love it. Well, it's the NARS Pure Radiant Tinted Moisturizer. To me, it's just kind of like a light coverage product. I wouldn't really consider it a tinted moisturizer. To me, that means it's really light coverage, and I'm wearing a moisturizer no matter what. But this I love. It is 1.9 ounces. So this means although it is going to be a higher end price tag, you're getting basically double the foundation. I can't remember how much this costs, but like, let's say that it's $50. It's probably a little bit more than $50 in Canada, but basically it's like you're paying $25 an ounce. So that could be close to some freaking drugstore foundations nowadays. But I really do love this. I wore this nonstop through the summer, through the winter. Like, there's almost nothing in it, and I'm going to repurchase it. I just think it is so good. If you have incredibly oily skin, this probably isn't going to be the best for you, but it's radiant, not greasy. Like, it just looks like your skin, but better. It is just, honestly, it's just glorious. It's one of my favorite foundation products that I've ever tried, and I didn't even expect to like it. I actually went in to buy the matte tinted moisturizer, which I believe has been discontinued, but I just thought, you know, let me try this out, see what happens. I've had really good experiences with NARS foundations. I've liked pretty much all of them, but this one is definitely my favorite. The only kind of qualm I have with this line is that it could have more shades in it. NARS has some pretty great shade ranges, but this one I think sits around 20 or 22 shades, while their other ranges are closer to 40, I think. So that is a bit of a letdown, but because it is lighter coverage, it is going to be a little bit more forgiving in terms of being able to fit more people under one shade. But honestly, it's so good. It's great for, albeit it's big for travel, it is great because it just is kind of like this easy squeeze tube. But I actually have squeezed it out. Like when I went to Italy and Rome, I took this with me and I wore this every day in London, and I just squeezed it out into like a little not Tupperware, little like travel thing. And yeah, I just think that this is so great. If I had to compare the NARS tinted pure radiant tinted moisturizer to something at the drugstore, it would be this guy. And I love NYX's foundations. I love their Can't Stop Won't Stop, but I haven't been wearing that as much recently. This is the NYX Born to Glow Naturally Radiant Foundation. Now NYX is cruelty free. They have 45 different shades at the drugstore, which is just incredible, and they're actually good shades. It's not just like some thrown together mess, which we've seen many times. I think their shade ranges are really good, quite consistent as well. Like I'm caramel in this, I'm caramel in that, and I just think it's really nice. Again, similar to the NARS, this is a more radiant and glowy as opposed to something greasy and slippery. I can't remember what people who had oily skin had to say about this in my review. I'm kind of in a combo-ish place right now. Sometimes I just have like sweaty face days, but I do feel like this is really nice. If you do have super oily skin and you're worried about things slipping around, I would just use a lesser amount of the Can't Stop Won't Stop. If you're looking for something more medium coverage over full, you don't necessarily need to go grab this, but I think that this is really beautiful. It's one of those drugstore foundations that has a high-end feel, which I really love. There's just something about high-end foundations, sometimes you can feel that difference, be it in the shade, the texture, the finish. I've actually got an entire video on drugstore foundations that feel high-end. It was pre this guy coming out. I'll link that down below, but yeah, this is just a really glorious drugstore foundation. It's great, drugstore or not though. It has nothing to do with it being from the drugstore. It's good either way. Up next, we have a foundation that I expected to hate, honestly. The liquid version of this was horrible. There's very few foundations that I've put on my face that right off the bat, I've been like, trash. This is trash. And there's some things, you know, that you wear throughout the day and I got too oily or whatever it may be, but the liquid ColourPop foundation was an abomination. It was so bad. If you like it, good for you. I will not be, you know, pushing you down in the aisles to pick it up or online. But this is the ColourPop No Filter Stick Foundation. I was like, if they can't do a liquid, they can't do a stick, but I was like, I'm gonna buy it and review it. This is so good. It blends out like a dream. It doesn't drag on the skin. Like I always make sure my skin is hydrated and I might spray my face before putting down a stick just to ensure, but it really is so nice. It has really great coverage. It's buildable light to medium, I would say, and the shade is really good. I think the shade range is good. The price is great. Bit of a bummer in Canada that it's like harder to get and you're paying in USD, but I feel like a lot of my most recent ColourPop orders have come from Canada. I think they might have a Canadian warehouse now. I think they were working on that, and I haven't paid customs because for a little while there it was like customs, lost packages. It was a disaster, but yeah, this is really good, super easy. If you're the type of person who wants something easy, this is good for travel as well because it's not going to be a liquid for most security people. Sometimes you get a stickler, but sometimes one time they're like, I forget what it was, but they were like, if you melt it, it becomes a liquid. I'm like, well, yeah, but like anyways, I wear it in the shade medium dark 130C, and I just thought that this was great. I think it would act great as a cream contour too. I might pick up a deeper shade next ColourPop order, but yeah, I really did not expect to like this, and I feel like the majority of skin types would like this. You may just need to prep based on your skin. So if you have a drier skin type, you may want to make sure you're hydrated for sure, and if you're oily, you may want to put down a setting spray, or I always love to set a stick foundation with a little bit of powder foundation just to bump up the coverage and the wear time. But yeah, I thought this was great. Pleasantly surprised. Speaking of powder foundation, this is what I've been using basically exclusively to set every single foundation, all of the foundations that I'm talking about today. The NARS one especially, I love pairing that NARS Tinted Moisturizer with a powder foundation, again, to bump up the coverage slightly and to add to that kind of like locking things in place. I feel like powder foundations do a great job at that, and you can kind of pick your coverage. So this is the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Complexion Powder. I feel like they changed the name of it on the Sephora website, but this is really good. Not only is it great to set any liquid or stick foundation, it is great on its own. Like I said, I have reviewed all of these foundations, so they will be linked down below with all the information that you may need, but I really think that this is good. It is super easy for, you know, easy makeup days. You just kind of want to even things out. You don't even need to put on a concealer with it, or you can build it up. I would say like a light medium and get a nice coverage there. If you want to spot conceal, add a setting spray, you'll get a little bit more longevity out of it. But I think it is a really great, as they say, multi-use complexion powder, and yeah, I love it. And then lastly, I want to give a shout out to the e.l.f. Flawless Finish Foundation. I talked about this, was it in a favorites video or a current favorite drugstore makeup? I really felt like I didn't give this enough love in the review. I don't think I was as excited at the end of the day for whatever reason as I should have been, but I think that this is great. They have recently updated their shades, so they have even more shades. e.l.f. is cruelty-free. It is incredibly affordable. This is $6 American. You are only getting 0.68 fluid ounces in here, so something to keep in mind, but like the price tag really kind of offsets that. So it is a little bit just above half of the size of an average foundation, but the shade range is definitely improved. I wear the shade Honey, which I feel like is a good shade for me, and this is another one, like all of these foundations I don't think lean to be inherently for dry skin or oily skin. They're all kind of somewhere in the middle, some a little bit more than others, but I feel like this is another one that, depending on your prep, most people could make this work, and it looks really high-end. You're getting a nice glass package. You've got why is this resisting so much? It's got a pump. I'm saying nice things about you. Come on, play nice. But yeah, I really do enjoy this, and you'll see in my review if you want to check it out. At the end of the day, my face looked really, really great with no added setting spray, no added work. Yeah, I think it's a really great and underrated foundation. So there you have it. Those are some of my current favorite foundations. Let me know down below what foundations you would like to see reviewed. I have plans to review the L'Oreal, the new, whatever they're calling it. What is it called? Radiant Serum Foundation, and a couple of others. I just have not been able to bring myself to do it lately. Just motivation is at an all-time low with the current situation, but I do want to get back into reviewing foundations, so let me know what you'd like me to review. Nothing brand new, because I don't plan on doing any shopping at this time unless it shows up in PR, and I'm not even requesting any PR right now. I want to keep packages low and keep the, you know, Canada Post people doing, you know, just the minimum amount of work. Anyways, that's a whole other thing. But let me know what you would like to see reviewed. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to connect with me, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at SamanthaJaneYT, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!